What is going on? It's your boy Astro, aka the Galaxy Shogun, coming to you here today with a very, very special discussion. I know we've been waiting for it, people. Ever since Big Mom and Kaido went down, One Piece chapter 1058 finally gives us the rest of the Straw Hat Bounties, as well as a few more, being the Cross Guild Alliance. So, this is going to be mostly bounty focused, but I am definitely going to talk about some wider points in the chapter, because I think there's a few things worth mentioning, and I'm so glad to finally see some people in the Straw Hats get some goddamn respect. I think some people got some bounties that were unjustified, like the raises were just a little insane if you ask me, but overall I'm glad that's the direction that the story went, and I prefer this than being lowballed like Robin has been for the majority of this story. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I'll talk about Luffy's bounty because I guess it's worth it since we're talking about all of them anyways. I mean, we already knew it was 3 billion after taking down Kaido with the Alliance, which is matching Law and which is matching Law, and I was going to say useless Captain Kidd, but you know what, I'll respect him a little bit. Kid's a cool character. I mean, he didn't do as much as we were hoping on Onigashima and the rooftop, but nonetheless, he helped take down Big Mom. Now, I don't think that justifies having the same bounty as Luffy, since Luffy probably did 80% of the work taking down Kaido, if I'm being honest, but, it's the way Oda tried to portray it. This chapter, again, makes it clear that, bounties aren't exactly the most important thing for being in Yonko. We see that Mihawk has a higher bounty than Buggy, and Buggy's obviously still the Yonko, so, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, highest bounty equals Yonko. So I get that, but I'm still a little uneasy about giving someone like Kid the same bounty as Luffy. Law, I can understand because they've mentioned beforehand that he has a devil fruit that in itself is worth a few billion, so. And he's a D, and he's doing all this wild shit, all this demon shit with Luffy and the gang, so. His is at least justified. Kid's, and I'm not trying to just hate on Kid, I know everyone's doing that. Kid's a dope character, but that's just my thoughts. Kid should maybe be a little lower, but for the sake of keeping them all as rivals, I think I understand why they were kept all the same. So in terms of the 1058 bounty reveals, let's get it! So, first in the story, I'm going to be referencing what they were on Whole Cake Island versus what they were now. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think for most of them, it's just like a wholesale 300 million raise, with the exception of Chopper, because he's just getting trolled by the government, clearly. Like, even if he's a pet, like, he was really just at 100. Like, Chopper's what we start off with, in this chapter, after, we get that foreshadowing of Nami having King's Haki in the future, which, knowing Oda and the way he does things, I would not be surprised if in the future Nami gets King's Haki, given the fact that, other crews have more. If we do get Yamato join one day, we'd have 3 confirmed users, but, Usopp and Nami, I would not quite be surprised, given these little jokes that Oda's putting in here. This man is a troll, so if it happens one day, you heard it here first, or 100th, because I'm sure that every reviewer is probably bringing this up at this point. Oda, we don't trust you, bro. You're not going to get another one over on us. So anyways, back to Chopper's bounty. Chopper's bounty has the highest percentage gain, which is nuts. It's funny considering it only went up to 1,000 berry from 100. That's what it was, at the end of Whole Cake Island. But nonetheless, that is a 10-fold gain, which no one else on the crew has gotten. Robin got damn close to that. So, we'll talk about that later because I want to spend some time on that. But Chopper goes from 100 to 1,000 berries. So Chopper is still getting disrespected, but at least from like a percentage gain, his portfolio had the best gains this year. Next, we get our navigator, Nami. And I mean, with Zeus, she definitely, like, I wasn't expecting it to go this high. I'll be honest, 366 is kind of nuts. Like, I'm pretty sure that's around the range that Kuma and Doflamingo were introduced at. She's at least higher than one of the two of them, like their pre-Shichibukai bounty, which is pretty nuts. But given the fact that, I don't know, maybe the government knows that she has access to Zeus now, which is deadly in itself, Nami is very glass cannon-y. If she got some more offensive hockey types, like, she would actually be pretty dangerous. So I could see the 366 million, but a wholesale 300 million for a lot of the Straw Hats was pretty surprising to me. I mean, again, I get that she could be dangerous, but 366 is pretty nutty, so congratulations to Nami. Nami's obviously a very valuable member of the crew. In terms of her danger to the government, I guess that's a factor for it as well, but 366 is definitely a lot higher than I was expecting, so congratulations, Nami. You're damn right. For 366, you better fucking lock your doors at night. Next, let's move on to the Soul King. Yo-ho-ho-ho! Brook. So, Brook kind of underutilized this arc. I'll go more into it. I got a Brook video coming out as a part of the, Wano Power-Up series. I already did Franky. I already kind of did, half for Luffy, so look out for that. But Brook underutilized, and he still got a 300 million increase, given the fact that Nami was only 66 before. Just like Brook, like, would I say that was low? Maybe that was a little on the low side before. I think they should have been hovering around the 100 mark or like 150, but Brook is a good swordsman. I think he gets, you know, ignored a lot because Zoro's like the swordsman that gets all the attention in the crew. But Brook held his own pretty well against Big Mom's homies. He has a hard counter for any soul-like techniques and abilities. And he's literally a living skeleton, and he's infamous for his music. Not that that should really affect his bounty too much, but, you know, he's pretty well known, so he definitely has influence, and if that's a part of it, I think that he should have been a little higher. I think not only just Brook, but Franky as well should have been in the 400. So, again, Brook getting that 300 increase. Same with Franky, now sitting at 394 million. I really was hoping that they'd be in the 400. You know, I feel like Franky's getting a little disrespected here. And his bounty poster is the Sunny, which is just like making me think that my theory is right. If you haven't seen my Franky power-up video, please watch that. I have a theory that Battle Franky 40 will be a combination between him, Sunny, and Pluton, which it seems like in just a short 1 week since I posted that video, it's seeming like it's more likely to happen. So, you know, I used my future sight on that one. So that's pretty cool, I guess. He's right under 400, but he's getting hoed, if I'm being honest. If Nami's 366 and Brook's 383, like, Franky was pretty formidable. Like, he handled Sasaki, to be honest with you, man. So I think he deserves something a little higher than that. In terms of his, you know, wanted poster not being his face, it's going to be something similar to Sanji's, definitely. Every YouTuber is theorizing that. I think it does take a genius to theorize that, you know, there's going to be some future plot point related to that. Go ahead and watch my Franky video, because I do touch on this happening, so I feel like I've been vindicated already a little bit. So let's talk about our boy, God Usopp. Ever since Dressrosa, when Doflamingo gave him the 5 stars, 500 million bounty, I knew it was coming. Everyone underestimates Usopp. He did not cheat his way to the bounty. He did not lie his way to this bounty. This was an earned bounty. Not particularly from Whole Cake Island, but his feat of sniping sugar with hockey from that distance. He is a brilliant sniper. To quote Violet or Viola, he is a brilliant sniper. What he did in Dressrosa, if you ask me, if he was given a bounty that high at that point, I know it would be too conflicting with Luffy's, but I could have seen it. I could have seen it, frankly, because Usopp has already proven to me that you know, he's about that action. And if anyone else watches RTTV's reactions, you should. They're really hilarious. When Evan sees that, yo, just know we're getting the sickest Usopp song dance. So, congratulations to Usopp. That's also 300 raids, considering that he was 200 before. I know Daddy Usopp's going to be proud when he sees that, so congrats to you. And just like I said to Nami, yeah, you should be scared, because I think everybody and their grandmother will be hunting after you with a bounty like that. So, And you know, I'm excited to see if next chapter or in the anime we get a flashback to like Syrup Village or Gecko Island or whatever. Maybe I got that mixed up. Or Usopp's Island. I'd love to see Kaya's response when Usopp gets back to that island. Him and Kaya are about to have 50 babies, because that's some clout right there. 500 million. Let's go. Let's go, Usopp. Okay, so next, this is one that I really wanted to touch on. Nico Robin. Nico Robin's bounty was criminally low for a majority of the story. I mean, she had 80 million since she was a kid, and like since Enies Lobby, it's barely raised. Like, you know, she got up and over to like 130, but overall, like, it should have been way higher than that, even before Wano. Like, she took out Black Maria, just like Franky. She's one of the few that just more or less soloed. Like, obviously, Brook helped with some things, but I say the majority of that fight was obviously Robin versus Black Maria, so that's a pretty big feat. I think that the government now knows that, you know, Luffy's a Yonko. That's why they're like, okay, we can't pretend that these are just some scrubs anymore. Like, my theory is that they're like, okay, we know Robin's dangerous, being one of the only few people that could read poneglyphs previously, but her crew isn't strong enough to really utilize her, so we'll just keep her on the back burner for now. We don't really want to draw too much attention. Now, the attention's on her. She beats a Tobiropo, one of the strongest people in Kaido's crew, in Black Maria, and Luffy's a goddamn Yonko. Now, they have no choice but to give her the respect. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if she was higher than Jinbei or Sanji, given how dangerous she is, but I guess that Warlord clout hits different, which brings me to my next point. We got the Monster Trio, or I guess the new Monster Trio if we're excluding Luffy, Jinbei, Sanji, and Zoro. So Sanji is at 1,032 million. Jinbei is at 1.1 billion, and Zoro's at 1.11 billion, so just slightly higher than Jinbei. Jinbei, I'm gonna keep it real, man. You're in the crew now, so I respect you, but I think you're boring, and I hope that doesn't bias my judgment here. And I want to hear everyone else's thoughts in the comments. Like, I wasn't for Jinbei joining because I thought that he was gonna be like, you know, a weird addition to the crew. As of right now, he's still boring, but I mean, it's not terrible, but you're not beating Sanji or Zoro, and you're also, you also, like, you're not beating Zoro as is, but the fact that you have a higher bounty than Sanji, it makes me feel like it's a lot of that Warlord clout. Like, the bounty raise for Robin, first of all, is almost as high from a percentage standpoint as Chopper's, given that she raised 800 million, and she was at, like, 130 before, so that's pretty massive, but Jinbei's was pretty big, too. So, you know, getting Sanji, who was previously ahead of Zoro, and now being under Zoro and Jinbei, it's pretty interesting, but it's intentional, I suppose. Zoro fanboys are eating, I guess, because he finally took back the throne. He's even higher than Jinbei. I mean, again, Zoro and Sanji are stronger than Jinbei, if you ask me, but if I was Sanji, I'd be upset too. It seems that they're not calling him Vinsmoke anymore. I mean, I don't know if we get a good look at the bounty poster. I want to kind of take a look here, but he should be getting some Vinsmoke clout, to be honest with you. And he handled Queen, like, he kind of low-diffed him. Not that the government really probably saw enough of that fight to know, like, how difficult it was, but yeah, I think that Sanji and Zoro's bounty should be higher, to be honest. I think Jinbei's is fine there, but I think that Zoro's bounty, considering that he was on the roof, as much as I like Sanji over Zoro, he probably should have been at least 1.3 because he was on the rooftop and he did manhandle King, and King's bounty is still higher than Zoro, so a little confused on how that works, but it is what it is, I suppose. Jinbei, you got a super good buff due to your warlord history, I suppose. Okay, so after checking, Jinbei's bounty was 438 million, which is, yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think that's about on par. I mean, it could have been a little higher given that he was a warlord and, you know, joined the Strats and all that stuff. But, yeah, going from, you know, 438 million to 1.1 billion is a pretty large gain. He obviously did manhandle Who's Who as well, so I think that that's pretty cool. Though, again, I'm sticking to my guns. I think Zoro should be considerably higher than Jinbei's, and I think that Sanji should have been a bit higher than Jinbei's as well, which obviously Zoro's is by a little, but Sanji's is not. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's hope that, you know, at some point in the story, Sanji gets to be over Jinbei, because this is going to be very agenda-fueling for some people that like to say Jinbei's stronger than Sanji. I think there's no way in hell. Look at who Jinbei fought and look who Sanji fought. Like, Sanji actually fought Queen and Jinbei just fought a Tobiropo. Like, these are not the same things, you know? Like, so whatever, enough about that. That's my salt for this video. So that's it for the races of the Straw Hats, and let's get into the super hype cross-guild alliance, because that is nutty. I'm just going to touch briefly on this because I think this could be its own video on itself, but we find out that, you know, it is what we thought. Crocodile and Mihawk are the brains behind this operation. They're the muscle behind this operation. Buggy was pulling a little bit of a Caesar, taking funds from Crocodile. Who knows? I guess he didn't, like, spend it on hookers like Caesar did, but at the end of the day, like, Crocodile came for the money and he didn't have it, so he was very close to being just wiped out. and I like seeing Mihawk even, you know, showing a little bit of his pride, like, Buggy, you're not above me, don't ever act like that again. So that's pretty interesting, but that's a video for itself. Buggy, the Yonko, has a pretty nutty bounty. A pretty nutty bounty. So it's really funny, because with this cross-guild alliance, you know, again, Crocodile and Mihawk are obviously the main powerhouses between this, and they kind of bonded over their distrust of others, and they kind of saw Buggy as a good opportunity, you know, like, Buggy offered his whole organization to Crocodile, and Crocodile is a very smart person, so, you know, they did their thing, and it created this alliance. Now, Buggy's fanboys kind of put Buggy at the forefront of this, making Buggy the Yonko, but in a way, I think that it's very fair to say that Mihawk could have easily been a Yonko if he cared for it. It seems that that's not really what he cares for, but he's also not happy that, you know, Buggy is the face of his alliance. Though by the end of the chapter, he's like, maybe this will be good, so people won't be putting all the heat on us. They'll be looking at this idiot clown over here, Buggy. But, you know, I'm glad that it could have really went both ways. Buggy could have actually done something to make himself that formidable. Like, I truly believe that, given the fact that he was a part of the Roger Pirates, and he could actually have a pretty broken devil fruit if, like, he was more serious. But I'm glad that, you know, they're being a little bit more realistic with how this alliance is working, letting us know that Buggy is just the face of this. He's still a bum, he's still a scrub, but he does have a high bounty, and I actually will start with his, given that he's the Yonko. Buggy's bounty? Oh my god, it's over Luffy's. Now, originally I was like, this is some bullshit. How can Buggy's bounty be over Luffy? But given the fact that we see Mihawk's bounty and Crocodile's, Mihawk's bounty, okay? So Buggy's bounty is 3.18 billion, so 189 million over Luffy's, so first I was kind of like, again, I was like, yeah, I you know, I'm not buying that, but given the fact that Mihawk's bounty in itself is 3,590,000,000. And in this chapter, which again, this is another video, obviously Mihawk's a better swordsman than Shanks. He's not, that doesn't mean he's stronger, it means that he's a better swordsman, but obviously very impressive. The Mihawk fanboys are eating, because that's a very high bounty for just a man that rocks solo. I don't know if Mihawk got that bounty as a result of being aligned with Crocodile and Buggy. I think that's a lot of it that people might be forgetting. Like, people are saying that's Mihawk on its own, but this is Mihawk's current bounty. We don't know what it was if he was to be unassociated with everybody. I would guess it would be considerably lower, but Mihawk's obviously a beast. Like, to me, he's Yonko level, and he's effectively the Yonko in this group. You know, even though Buggy's it in name, Mihawk is truly the Yonko, if you ask me, so very more than respectable, very, I wouldn't say outrageous given the fact that it's Mihawk, but that is a damn high bounty, fitting for the strongest swordsman in the world. and Crocodile. What the fuck did Crocodile do to get a bounty this high? He must have been putting in work during the time skip, because to go from where he was to basically just under 2 billion, sitting at, oh my god, sitting at 1.965 billion berries? Just saying these numbers, can you believe, like, the numbers that we're at now? Like, saying these numbers and, like, having to say it out loud, it boggles my mind. Like, I'm saying these numbers out loud, and my brain is literally just, like, short-circuiting halfway through. That I could be associating bounties this high for people like Buggy and Crocodile. Which, again, Crocodile and Buggy aren't on the same level, but let's be honest, we beat Crocodile pretty early. He lost to, like, a pre-hockey Luffy, unless he was using it without knowing it. Like, you could make the argument that that final punch, when he went through the espadas, when Luffy punched through the espadas, that he was doing that. Obviously, he was using water to negate his abilities, but the fact that he's worth 2 billion and he was taken out so easily and so early in the story, it's just a little hilarious to me. It makes me wonder what someone like NL's bounty would be. So, yeah, that's, I guess, the reason that it's justified that Buggy has a higher bounty than Luffy. And it's not even by much. He's got some real beasts under him, as well as, you know, a lot of real pirates from Impel Down working under him, so I understand that. So that kind of ends it for this video. I think I've given my thoughts thoroughly on everything. To highlight, Robin's bounty should have been much higher. I think that wholesale giving everybody a 300 raise wasn't necessary. Usopp's is about right. Franky's is a little low if you ask me. Brook's is about right. Chopper's still getting trolled. We'll probably never see that. Zoro's and Sanji should have been higher. Jinbei's is about right. And that's about it. That's about it for my thoughts. I think that Crocodile's is outrageously high. It's probably the most surprising for me, given the fact that he was dealt with so easily. Even if you want to argue he was just a cocky son of a bitch, like, for someone to be worth that much. And again, he's getting some clout because he's a part of this alliance with Mihawk too. But fuck, I could have expected like 1.5, 1.2 at the highest, maybe 1.3. Being just under 2 bill is a little nuts. It's a little crazy. Like, that's almost on par with Blackbeard. Like, let's take that in for a second. So that's my thought on this. Obviously, we got some more stuff in the ways of Sabo finally calling the revolutionaries, Dragon saying that he would forgive them for whatever reason if Sabo did in fact kill Cobra, which it's looking like he did. And, you know, Dragon says doesn't matter what the reason is. I would love to see what Dragon and Sabo's bounty is going to be, but again, that's a video for another day. So this has went on long enough. Thank you everybody for made it to the end of this video. Sorry if I stopped at points. These very analytical videos where we're discussing numbers and thoughts, you know, they tend to get very rambly, but I hope that this was enjoyable for everybody. We're making some good gains with my subscribers, so if you want to help me reach my goal at 10K subscribers, my next milestone would be 500, and after that would be 1,000, but my ultimate goal would be to have 10,000 subscribers. You know, some people want 1 million subscribers, but you know, if I had a community of 10,000 people that actively watch my videos, commented, I would be happy. Like, that's my ultimate goal. Not to say that I'd stop working hard once I got to that point, because it's inevitable, but, you know, if you want to go ahead and help me out, please go ahead and hit that like button, let me know your thoughts, share the video if you enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button. Once again, I will leave my Franky video in the end cards, because I think it's extremely relevant with his new bounty not featuring his face, so if you want to go ahead and watch that, please go ahead and do that. That's it for me, folks. Once again, remember, always work towards your one. Peace!